Welcome to the annual Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League, where once again my fantasy of Aaron not being a dick will go up in flames. I'm your host, Magic. You all know the drill. 11 teams, 5 rounds, snake style. Looking at the teams, boy, what a sorry sack of sadness you all are that are in here. My God. Let's see, we've got a hillbilly from some backwards-ass state, a hothead, mentally challenged, some unfunny bitch, and that's just the defending champion. There's so many washed-up handicappers here, I can't tell if this is the Racing Dudes Fantasy League or the Daily Racing Forum. With that said, let's meet the teams for 2025. Picking last this year is Paul Freebeers Withrow. Paul's appearances are always must-see TV because his beautiful wife Monique shows up and blocks out his melon head. Guys who look like Paul only get women who look like Monique for one of two reasons. Either they're super rich or they're super hung, and based on the size of their house, Monique must buy a lot of batteries. Can someone explain that to Dr. Miranda? I think she's confused. Evil Stevel's back. I know we give him a lot of grief, but really, Stevel's a great guy. When he's not so drunk that he pisses himself and passes out at the dinner table, or as his teammate Kelby calls it, Tuesday. You might not know, but Kelby's a very highly respected blacksmith. It's a hard job that would scare a lot of people away, but not Kelby. No. He doesn't know the meaning of the word fear. Though to be fair, he doesn't know the meaning of a lot of other words either. Dr. Tang is here, if only to fill the Racing Dudes quota. Doc, we missed you at the draft last year. That panel was so white, Tony Khan tried to snort it. Dr. Tang is teammates with Dr. Miranda, and they've been a perfect fit so far. Not only are they both medical professionals, they're also both living proof that size doesn't matter when it comes to fertility. Last year's league champion was Geist, who used his winnings to buy a new look. It's just too bad he didn't buy a personality instead. I kid. I actually love what you've done with your hair, Geist. Tell me, how do you get it to come out of your nose like that? Looks like Aaron let Michael Osen back in the league for some reason. Several of us here have met Osen before, and it doesn't come through the computer screen, but let me tell you, he's so short, his hair smells like feet. Osen's always wearing sunglasses, even inside and at night. I guess his mommy never warned him that masturbation causes blindness. Osen's teammate is Wise Dan, a man who's so grumpy, he asks massage parlors for an unhappy ending. A new addition to the league is Dennis Trusty, whose sole qualification for joining is that Aaron asked and Dennis said yes. Aaron tried getting him to join the league last year too, but Dennis turned him down. Imagine how much that must have hurt. Dennis never turns down a desperate bitch. And how bland and forgettable do you have to be for Dennis Trusty to be the most exciting part of your team? Anyway, Vinny Blonde's back. Best of luck, Vinny. Speaking of guys adding teammate, Jared is adding Kevin B into the mix. Now, longtime Fantasy League followers might be surprised by this move, but it makes sense if you really know Jared. Lets him do what he does best. Make someone else do all the work and share in the profits. If you were one of the 52 people who tuned into Dudes Who Bet Daily, then you know Kevin B is the genius who got married in Saratoga on Belmont Stakes Day, but not at Saratoga. Not saying that was a stupid move, Kevin, but please tell me you don't plan on homeschooling your kids. Kevin's joining up with Jared, who's a multiple champion in the league, and Jared said he wanted a teammate so that he could help teach the next generation. Right. Jared teaching about horse racing is like O.J. Simpson teaching an anger management class. Shoddy and Davey are back. I gotta say, you two kids have shown so much promise early on that I just know someday you two will go far. Just hope you stay there and never come back. Shoddy and Davey started hot winning the championship in year number 1, but they choked so much last year you'd have thought they were sharing Saratoga Slim. Davey's the first person in history who looked at Yosemite Sam and said, nah, that's the look I want. His mom named him Davey because she wanted a name that fit, but it was too hard for her to spell pedophile Pete. Next up, it's the Magic Mike Show, aka your once and future kings. There are only 3 things that you need to know about the Magic Mike Show. We're tall, we're awesome, and last year we got by more trainers than an Oaklawn track rat. Or as Kelby calls her, my next ex. It's good to see John White back again. Earlier this year, John retired from doing the morning lines at both Santa Anita and Del Mar. John, on behalf of horse players everywhere, I'm begging you to come back. These new morning lines are terrible. I haven't seen figures this bad since Aaron went to the beach. And why shouldn't we want more of John? He's been a legend in this sport for decades. Of course, it helps that when he first got into horse racing, the Dead Sea was just sick. John still has his faithful lapdog, Ryan Stillman. Even though he has a big movie project in the works and a YouTube show, it's nice to see Ryan taking the time to keep riding John's coattails year after year. Seriously, what does Ryan even contribute to that team? It's about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle. And after years of rigging it for other people, Aaron Halterman finally gave himself the number 1 overall pick again. Aaron, do you ever wonder what your life would have been like if you'd gotten enough oxygen at birth? I'm not saying Aaron's ugly, but his face looks like Heather lit it on fire and put it out with an axe. For 17 years, it's been easy to see that Aaron is happily married. It's just too bad Heather isn't. Lots of couples develop cute nicknames for each other like Babe or Sweetheart. Heather calls Aaron Cement because it takes him 2 days to get hard. Now, knowing Aaron, he's probably going to want to get me back for this. I tell him to just turn the other cheek, but unfortunately, it's just as ugly. But that said, I've gone about 6 minutes longer than Aaron lasts in bed, so let's get on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the annual Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League.
Oh, shit. It gets worse and worse every year. Well, welcome in, everybody. I'm Jared Welch, he's Aaron Halter, and this is Blinkers Off. And, well, I think I don't really need to say anything else. This is the fantasy draft, and that happened.
I think it was better this year than last year.
It's like a train wreck, but it's just so amazingly awesome that I can't stop watching.
You love it, and then it gets to you, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. You start the way he transitions, and then you're like, oh shit, this is about me.
Like, oh. And the whole time I'm like, I'm gonna be last. Oh no.
The picture that he used for me, I feel like might be one of my first pictures on Facebook ever, and that was I don't know how many, like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. He did his research.
I know. Yeah, he definitely did. That was an oldie. Like you may have not been drinking age at that time. Even
seriously, yeah. I think I was like maybe just 21. So yeah, wow. That's yeah. But that was I always love that he doesn't hold back. Even the new guy, it's like, welcome to the league, guys. Here's Magic just absolutely calling you a hillbilly and trash. So
yeah. Okay.
Find him on weekdays on FanDuel TV.
I think I'm going to send this to his bosses and say, this is the guy you actually hired, not the guy that he pretended to be in all those interviews. So
you'll say, this is who you actually hired, and show him this clip. So
yeah, I've got Christina Blacker's number. I think that's the first one. I'm gonna attach that.
Well, all right, guys. This is the 12th annual, to be exact, Fantasy League Draft. And again, if you guys are new to this or haven't been following along every year, basically what we do here is we draft. You're going to see the top 55 2-year-olds / turning 3-year-olds in a couple days as we lead up to the Kentucky Derby. It goes through all the prep races and just the Triple Crown. But you're really getting, I don't know how many actual individuals there are here, probably 15, 16 people that are just, you're literally getting 16 plus people compiling their top 55 horses as it relates to the Kentucky Derby Trail. And so you're really getting just the absolute kind of best minds. Well, I'll use best likely. You're getting a lot of different opinions as we go through this. So it is to me, it's always one of the greatest lists because it's not, it is like you have one person that's doing the list. Well, it's biased and they might be, against this horse or that horse. This is like, who knows, right? And so this is one of the top lists that you would have to look at, and no matter what, this is something that I think everyone looks forward to every year.
Yeah, it is. As you could probably tell if you're just tuning into this for the first time ever, we like to have fun here at Racing Dudes. And obviously, as you saw from the opening video, we were having fun. And so, 55 horses will be drafted tonight. So fun aside, it is an important show. You do have people, really good people like John White on the show that you'll get some insight on who he likes in the Kentucky Derby as we go along here. John and Ryan have the number 2 pick, so that'll be kind of cool to see who they're very high on, and that's going to happen here in just a second. Also, in all seriousness, a lot of sharp people here. Everybody in this league puts in the work and puts in the time. So whether we all draft bad horses or not, you got to know that everybody's put in the work. We're trying to give you 55 horses to watch here as we start the Kentucky Derby Trail. I know it's already started, but I think, first of the year, that's when the official start begins. So let's do it. I'm excited.
Well, and like you said, to add on to that, to be serious, like, you look at the people that we have in this league, it goes from New York to California and everywhere in between, and so we all know in horse racing, you get biases, so to speak, or, for us, we know a lot of people in the Midwest, right? We know a lot of people everywhere, but Midwest, Oakland, we know a lot of connections. Magic knows a lot out in, LA area. Mm-hmm. Vinny knows a lot out there in New York. And so it's like, you get all these kind of the brains of like these certain, areas of the country where the horses are running. So to me, it just is a very good grouping of people that are thinking about that. And again, we don't draft just in those certain areas, but you're getting a lot of sharp minds in regards to those areas. So.
Yep, absolutely. And that's going to be a lot of, like I said, a lot of different opinions, a lot of, hey, I don't like Baffert. We're going to try to beat him. Hey, I'm going to go all Baffert, stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, we've got 11 teams, so 55 horses will go on the list. Hopefully no fillies this year. We'll see, but
don't count that yet. But hey, listen,
okay.
I did, just to be clear, one, I got to thank Magic. Because I told him he was, couple weeks ago, I think he messaged me about he was like, well, I just got done recording the thing and the intro, and I was like, oh hell. I said, just do me a favor, please don't go too hard on me. Remember, like, I still pay you. And I was like, but hey, I deserve it. And listen, the fact that he did not go to the filly department, I'm shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, if I was him. I'll just be honest, I would have just annihilated myself. But I have ran by every horse that I like. I have ran it through Kevin to make sure it is a male. So I have that. That's really the only reason I brought him on, was to basically fact check that.
Good. Good.
You want to also say he will be doing the first round pick for me. So I want to bring him on instead of myself.
I love that. Yeah, that's a really nice moment, I think, for him to be able to do that. I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy for everybody tonight, especially myself, to get to spend time with all these wonderful people. So, and I'm happy for Magic, because December will be his last paycheck with us. So good, good job. Just kidding. All right.
All right, let's I'll throw it out there and I'll let you take over. Let's go, guys. It's time for the 12th annual Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League Draft. Let's go.
All right, Jared, I'm going to take you out of here.
Good. Thank you.
Goodbye. We'll see you soon. All right. It is time for the 12th annual Racing Dudes Fantasy Draft. And luckily enough, with the first pick, it's myself. So let's play the tune and let's get it going. Well, I've been on the clock for a week now, actually 2 weeks, and I don't like the horse I'm drafting, but I feel like he is the horse I've got to go with. I am going to take Citizen Bull with the number 1 overall pick. It's a lame pick. I'll be the first one to say it. The juvenile has not come back very well. Horses, 3 horses have come out of it, a second, and a third. In races, they both, 2 of them were favorites, big favorites to win, and lost. So it's not good. On the flip side, Citizen Bull's already in the Derby pretty much from a point standpoint, and he's probably the best horse out on the West Coast, so he'll get some points there. Don't love him, but I think he is a logical pick. So at number 1, I'm going to go Citizen Bull. So we'll bring in John and Ryan for pick 2. All right, well, welcome in John and Ryan. And guys, you've got the number 2 pick. You're on the clock. Who you got?
We are going to take Patch Adams with the number 2 pick. I've played him in the future book, have him at 33-1. Really like that. I will tell you a little tidbit. He's out of a Distorted Humor mare. And a few years ago, my wife and I were at some friends playing the game Password. And the people we were with really aren't all that familiar with horse racing. And I got the word. And so my clue to my wife was, for the word humor, I said, distorted. And she goes, humor. And the people we're with are going, how do you get humor from distorted? And they were on the floor. So that's one of my favorite memories with my wife. Patch Adams is out of a Distorted Humor mare. He's one of 8 billion Into Mischiefs that we have under consideration at this draft. We were looking at a filly. There are plenty of fillies available, but we decided to go with Patch Adams.
All right, Patch Adams for you guys. I really love the pick. Now, look, I know Ryan had a ton of input into this pick as well. I would really love that. Ryan, he has a YouTube show now. I really want. What are your thoughts on the draft pick, Ryan?
I really love this pick of Patch Adams. I'm very excited about his performance last time out. Aaron, we even broke it down on our show, Talking Track. He was fantastic, almost broke the track record there at Churchill. And I think this is a horse with a lot of upside and definitely a horse at the very least that you're going to want early in the season. You know what I mean? Distances and all this. I like what I see there. So yeah, definitely excited.
Well, I'm watching you, Aaron, on with Ryan when you guys went over his maiden win, just listening to your comments. And I did it again just the other day to refresh my memory. But I mean, when you look at him at the top of the stretch, I mean, this was like a spectacular bid move type thing. I mean, he's just kind of barely in front at maybe a half a length, and boom, he's 3 in front. And I mean, I think the world of him, and I think there's just so much talent there. But like I say, just your commentary, and then of course Ryan went in with a fine-tooth comb on that, so we were able to really learn a lot from Ryan and you on that show.
Well, I'm glad that I helped you guys probably win the league. You'll probably win the Triple Crown now, you know.
Thank
And
you,
I'm glad to help out some friends here. One question I want to ask, and this is specifically for the viewers right now. John and Ryan, if you guys had the number 1 pick, would it have been Patch Adams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Even
He's
salt
the
in
only
the wounds for me.
I like I say, I played him in the future book at 33-1. I did not, but listen, I have Citizen Bull because I bet him in the Kentucky Derby future pool from Churchill.
Okay.
And that was before the Breeders' Cup that closed. So I played him, and I also played a horse called Barnes, who wasn't named at the time of that future pool. So I have Barnes in that as well. So, but yes, to me, Patch Adams is the horse I would want the most. And so being in the number 2 spot, I was really tickled that he was there.
All right. So, I mean, that's why we're here tonight, kind of give you guys an idea. Yes, we're having a lot of fun with it. We're playing a game here, but hey, you tune in and you listen, John White thinks Patch Adams is the best horse to take right now. So I think that's valuable. All right, guys, we'll bring you back in. What's going to be a while, but we'll bring you guys back in. Thanks, guys. And I will go now to, I'll go to Magic next. Here we go.
You had one job, Ryan Stillman. One job. Make John take Barnes. God damn it. And all of you that thought that you were going to get Patch Adams after 3, you're kidding yourself. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Magic. So who would you like to have at number 3 now?
Well, I was going to say Heather, but I just had her not that long ago. I think for number 3, we're actually just going to go ahead. We're going to go with the horse that I thought has had the most impressive Kentucky Derby prep race win so far. So without Patch Adams, this is kind of what my career is in. We're going to go with Journalism from Michael McCarthy, your Los Alamitos Futurity winner.
And this is why people do not trust journalism. This guy right on the screen right there. Journalism used to be represented by a guy like John White. Now it's a guy on the freaking screen. So
see what happens when Ryan screws up? One job, Ryan.
I've witnessed a lot of screw ups from him over the years. This isn't nearly one of the worst, I don't think. No comment for that, Magic. Okay.
I said agree to disagree.
Okay. All right.
Hey, listen. Yeah. Stupidity isn't a crime. You're free to go. I'll see you next round.
All right. Well, this is fun. This has been really fun. Okay. So let's go now to Shoddy. She's here with the Shoddy and Davey team.
Matt.
I just want to apologize. You having to follow him for most of the night. That's not going to be fun. But anyway, who do you want it for, Shoddy?
Well, first, I have to say, Magic, I'm very betrayed right now. Confided in you about this horse. Anyway, I'm going to pull an audible because my teammate's not here to stop me. I am going to be taking Sovereignty. I can't say the horse's name. It's really bad. Sovereignty. Yeah. We were gonna go East Avenue, but I think I'm gonna pull an audible here and take him. I have him in some futures. I think he's progressing really nicely, and I would like to see that going into the next year. Now I know he has not worked recently, but hoping that he'll just pick it back up here at the beginning of the year.
I was going to lean that way too. Obviously, if I had the fourth pick, I have Sovereignty ranked ahead of East Avenue. So I kind of like the pivot you made there. What that really means, who knows? But I think you're on the right path. So I like it. So, all right, you're going to go Sovereignty at number 4. Unfortunately, Shawnee, I got to let you go. It's time for the Make-A-Wish kid coming in. Kevin's going to come in to make the next pick. So I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, new member of the league is here. It's Kevin. Well, you're looking good. Congratulations on being able to have the 5th pick. I want to know, did you get who you guys wanted?
I think everyone that we wanted still on the board. We also did a lot of research starting about an hour ago. So we're really prepared. I was brought in for one reason and one reason only, to ensure the first round we have a horse that is not a filly. Okay. So we already accomplished our goal. We are going to take Barnes with our pick and shock the world. We are Baffert lovers today.
Are you a little surprised Barnes is still available here at 5? I am a little bit.
Yeah, Jared and I were texting before, and we didn't even mention Barnes, just assuming he was going to get picked. So this could be a mistake because maybe everyone else knows something we don't. But we're just gonna give it a shot and say maybe he makes it to the Derby, maybe he never races again. We don't know, but it's worth a shot and it's fun.
Well, with Bob Baffert, you do kind of spin the roulette wheel, don't you? It's kind of like, yeah, maybe he'll win 5 in a row, or maybe we'll be on the milk carton list. Who knows? It's hard to say. But all right, Barnes, number 5. Appreciate it. Was it as thrilling as you thought it would be?
It was everything I hoped for and more. Yeah. So I'm just glad that Jared's allowing me on his team. You know, the mighty Jared, our king.
Okay, you're gonna go now. All
yeah,
right, thanks, Kevin. All right, that was Jared and Kevin, number 5. Great pick, by the way. And I am a little bit shocked Barnes dropped to 5. You say dropped. 5's pretty good for a one race horse so far. But listen, I didn't think he'd be available. So anyway, all right, let's go to the kind of a new team. Vinny and Dennis will come in here with the 6th pick. They're both here. I'm going to bring them both in. We'll see what happens with these guys. They've been fighting. We'll see if this continues. Here we go. Right. There the two legends are. You guys have really been fighting with each other. Who's gonna get the 6th pick? Here we go. Who you taking?
So I am honored to be in this league finally. I only have 3 goals. Number 1, beat Shoddy. Number 2, beat Magic. And number 3, and this horse will secure it, I gotta beat Vinny. I really have to beat Vinny. Okay. So Admiral Dennis, my boy, is going to take us to the promised land. Named after me, of course.
Right. Well, we've known it. I feel like this was destiny for you to get this horse, since we have talked about it ever since he debuted. So
we had 6 horses pegged for who we could possibly take in the first round. 4 of them went 1 through 4. So
yeah.
I really, the Patch Adams pick by John honestly threw me off. I did not realize John was that high on him. Yeah. I thought he was going to fall. I thought he would fall a little bit farther. But anyway, that's why I told Dennis if he fell to 6, we can take him. So here we are.
All right. Well, listen, I thought you guys were very civil. I think you guys are off to a great
Wait till round 4.
Okay, well,
the later rounds will be a mess with us.
All right. Well, I know that the viewership will gain as people hear what might happen later on in the show. So I appreciate you guys. Very civil start. So Admiral Dennis at number 6. All right. Let's bring in. Looks like Michael is going to be representing this team. We'll bring in him next. All right, okay. Michael, you're up, man. You've got the 7th pick. Who you taking?
All right. First of all, we are on our 5th or 6th choice. John White is a very sharp and astute individual, because I also bet 2 horses in the Kentucky Derby Futures, and they were Patch Adams and the unnamed Barnes. So I think Patch Adams might be the Triple Crown winner. I think they hit a freaking home run there. I had Patch Adams, Sovereignty, Barnes, Admiral Dennis in that order. So we're on our 5th pick, and Dan pulled rank on me. He said, I wanted to go with Jonathan's Way, but we were going to go with a horse that I picked out much lower on the list, but Dan likes him. San Saba. This horse is a Bob Baffert horse that is working well. Wow, I never heard of that before. So Baffert horse that's actually, he's on the track working. Well, he's alive is a big thing, and he's not in a coffin somewhere. So, well, he's actually, and they drew Santa Anita today, and he's entered. So he's entered as of now.
Oh, that's great.
And he's got John Velasquez, and he's on the outside. So, I mean, there's another Baffert in there. Don't worry. So nothing bad can happen, but well, this is where we're at. We're at a really rough start, Aaron. You're going to have to go easy on us here, pal. We're having a real rough night.
Well, I've got to imagine he really had to do a lot of convincing for you to take this horse at 7, right? Like, because I know, like, you personally probably didn't want to take the horse.
No, I was about to pick an Ohio bred.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Yeah,
I had this horse in like a second round pick because I thought he'd be forgotten about, but
okay,
he's worked. Dan went from saying I hate Bob Baffert to saying, oh, this horse is at least alive. So that's where we're at, considering I guess everyone handicapped exactly like us this year. They took Sovereignty, Patch Adams, and Barnes. Those were my 3 bets. I mean, good. And then Admiral Dennis was my 4th. You guys are crushing it. You guys are all going to have a big freaking meet, all of you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like I'm the one that really screwed up because it sounds like I'm the only one that didn't have Patch Adams at number 1. So
well, you picked a horse that has gotten nothing but passive, unmolested leads, and his stablemates have all sat. Throughout the majority of all his races, his stablemate was sitting second off of him, not passing him. And then we found out that gaming has no passing gears. So
that's true. Yeah.
You gambled, but you're the king of gambling. You're the rocket man. You're the gambler king.
Well, the good news is he's probably going to be in a lot of races where his stablemates are going to sit in second and nobody's going to pass. So I feel good about it still.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
Until we get to the Derby, then I'm screwed. I'm going to have to find the Derby winner in the next round. So, all right.
Well, he might run. He might show back up as a 5-year-old. I don't know if you get points for that.
That's the other problem. Both of our horses might be dead by March. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have a side bet going on. You and I'll contact you on the side for a side wager.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, Michael. Thank you very much. That is number 7. Let's go to number 8 right now. It is our defending champion, Geist. All right, Geist is not here tonight. Unfortunately, he's very busy with his regular job, but he did submit a list. Just want to let everybody know he did submit a list, so he doesn't have to get 5 Dallas Stewart horses like I threatened with. So Geist is very high on this horse from the Breeders' Cup who did no running because he fell to his knees and then he was pretty much last after that the whole way around. So at number 8, Geist is going to get East Avenue. East Avenue will be Geist there at number 8. So there we go. I'm surprised East Avenue fell all the way to 8. That is pretty surprising, but Geist has him now. All right. Number 9, we'll bring, I think they're both here. It looks like Doc and Doc are both here. We'll bring them in now. All right, guys. You guys are ready to rock. Looks like Doc is trying to cure cancer as he does this, so we'll see what happens here. Miranda's got the Christmas tree that stays at 7. So who are you guys taking at 9?
Well, I wanted to start off by just talking first, if that's okay with you guys. I'm so excited to be here. When I got a text message a couple of weeks ago asking to be back in the league, I was super surprised. I thought it was going to be another text message firing me, like we did back in September. No hard feelings, though. I know you had to cut back on the budget because Jared is obsessed with card breaking and his Tinder subscriptions, but it's fine. No hard feelings. After 4.5 years, this is my 2nd time here. I was only paid for like 1.5 years, but truly blessed. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in this draft once again.
It's like a female magic. I love it. I love that. Very good. So who are you guys taking is the question.
Go ahead, Miranda. You can announce it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, we are picking Ferocious.
Ferocious. Okay. Ferocious coming off of that. Another, mid-range Breeders' Cup juvenile effort. So what do you guys like about Ferocious?
He runs well.
Okay, good enough.
He runs well. He's got a nice speed rating off that effort in Saratoga in August. I'm hoping he can build off of that. I like the trainer, Gustavo Delgado. He has experience in the Derby. And so hopefully, Ferocious reminds me of some other F name horse that did okay last time, Fierceness. So let's bring it home.
All right. I like it. Ferocious. All right, guys. Well, stick around. You're going to be back here soon. So, not that soon, I guess. Can't wait to see you guys. Thank you very much. And Miranda, thank you. And don't worry, Magic's going to get fired after this as well. So you're not the only one. All right. Let's go to, it looks like Evil Stevel's here for the Evil Von Hemel team. We'll bring him in next. All right, what's up, Evil? How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good. Although I'm a little pissed. Ferocious was our pick, so Kelby and I are kind of pivoting. And Kelby could not make it tonight. Something about the Broncos and some band playing down in Oaklawn that his little Philly likes. So we are texting back and forth. So priorities, I guess.
Well, I don't blame him. I think it's a good move.
Smart man. Very smart man. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go. I don't know what happened this past weekend, but I still think Gaming, there's something there with him. So we're going to go with Gaming and our good friend Bob Baffert.
All right. Gaming for you guys. So I was pretty high on him until this last race. Do you think just a non-effort, just kind of draw a line through it?
Los Al's a little bit of a quirky place, so I'm going to blame it on the track, although that's pretty weak.
Yeah, well, listen, I think it's a thing. That has happened before, so I get it. All right, Gaming at number 10. We'll see you back here soon. All right, see you let's see. I'll see you in like 3 or 4 picks. Sounds good. All right, we'll see you soon. All right, let's go to the final pick of the first round. Let's go to Paul. All right, Paul. Do you have the horse you want? That's my first question.
I have a horse that I'm going to select.
Did you have the one that you wanted, I guess is what I should have asked.
No. I mean, I thought a couple of these horses might fall down to me. Even thought that I might get to relive Draft Pass with possibly selecting Gaming. I did have Game Winner, his sire, on my team a few years ago, but Evil jumped in and snagged him right before I could go. So, I'm going to, with the first pick here, I'm going to stay on the West Coast, and I'm going to take Bullard out of the Mike McCarthy barn. I think he's got 2 really good horses, Journalism, who looked spectacular the other day. So, a good pick there. But I'm going to take Bullard. I think he's got a shot to be really good as well. The Gun Runner sire looked really good in his last race. So let's see if he can stretch out and turn into a good horse as well.
All right, Bullard, I think it's a very logical horse in this spot. Now, I got a question for you now that the first round's over and you're going to start off the second round. So you'll be here with me for just a second. Any surprises to you in the first round? Any big surprises?
I think obviously the maiden going in the first round so early, San Saba has to be probably the surprise of the first round. Even with East Avenue dropping, East Avenue. I had him ranked a little higher than where he went, but I think the maiden, going in the first round, and he's catching a lot of hype right now, but he hasn't run. I think they will know on the day after Christmas if they've got a shot in this league or whether they're done.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be a big day for them coming up on December 26th. Sometimes that works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Trust me on that. All right. You're still here. I don't need to play the chime. We're going to start the second round right now. You've got back-to-back picks. Who you taking at 12?
This is one that's been, a little more challenging, just how things fell. And, you and I have talked about this horse quite a bit, and he is not going to be there when I pick in the third round, which is going to be at the end of the third round. One thing that's unusual this year is there are not that many undefeated horses going into this. And in past years, we've seen undefeated horses probably all over the first round. I don't know if this horse can step outside of State Bred Company and compete, but I love the things that he's done already so far. So I'm going to take, with the first pick in the second round, I'm going to take Rated by Merit.
I think it's a good pick for this spot. Yeah, I don't really think he was a first rounder. I do think he's a second rounder, and I'm with you. I think if you wanted him, you had to take him here because, like you said, he's not going to be available way back at, 33 when you pick again. So, all right, I like it. I think it's a good pick. So, Bullard and Rated by Merit for the last of the first round, first of the second round. All right, Paul, we're going to take you out of here. We're going to get Evil Steve back up in now. All right. I told you you'd be back quick. I hope you're ready. Who you got?
It's funny because Kelby and I were just texting about Rated by Merit and saying, is he worth a second round pick? And we're actually going to go in a different direction, but we really like that horse.
Yep.
We're going to take a swing with Authentic Strike.
Ooh, I like this horse. Why do you like him?
Because Kelby likes him.
So this horse beat one of their good horses. I bet that's why he likes him.
Yes, so. he's got some inside scoop talking to the trainer and jockey.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You've watched this horse, right? Like
yes.
you know about him. Yeah. I like him. I thought he was impressive last out. So
yeah, no, I watched his last race. It does look good. I like the trainer. I like Authentic. So we're gonna take a swing. I like the horse.
I like it. Do you think Kelby's having a good time tonight? I hope he is.
I hope so. He's texting me back, and he's texting, so I think he's kind of dual working the night here.
I love it. I love that he's active. All right. Well, we'll see you back here. We'll see if Kelby is still making sense of those text messages here in 15, 20 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right. So Authentic Strike. I think that's one a lot of people had kind of high on their list. I think it's a pretty good pick. All right. The Double D's are back next. Right, how mean are we going to be this time, Miranda? You guys have got this pick here. Still a lot of good horses. Who you guys going with?
Go ahead, Doc. Who do you want?
Oh, this is a tough one. We were down to the wire on this one. We're gonna go with Chancer McPatrick.
I'm surprised he's still on the board. Are you guys surprised?
Yeah, a little bit yes and a little bit no, because his running style may not be the best for the Derby, but if there's a lot of speed, we're hoping for a closer to pick up the pieces, and he'd be the best one. That's what I think. His performance at the Breeders' Cup was not the best, but we're hoping as he quote unquote matures and gets older, he may have a shot to be a nice closer if there's some crazy speed up front, if that makes sense. Because I think he can get the distance. It's more of how the race sets up for him in traffic and from that standpoint. So I could see why he's kind of a risk, why nobody else took him, I guess.
Yeah, he does. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Sierra Leone as far as the running style goes. So maybe he can kind of do a similar path. Miranda, do you approve of the pick? Was there arguments? Are you good?
Nope, I'm good with it.
Okay, that's great. Great news. All right, guys. So Chancer McPatrick coming in the second round. All right, let's go to Geist. And of course, by Geist, I mean myself because Geist isn't here, but I think he's got another good horse here. Next horse up on the list he submitted was Owen Almighty. So Owen Almighty, last seen finishing second in the Iroquois. He will go to Geist at 15. So he's gotten East Avenue and Owen Almighty so far. Pretty good list he submitted here. So we'll see what happens with Owen Almighty. All right. It looks like it's back to Dan and Michael next. All right, Mike.
All
I
right.
feel like it's got to be good. You wanted Jonathan's Way. He's still right there for you.
You know what? We're actually this is the wheels are really coming off right now. We're about to draft a horse that ran third in an allowance at Aqueduct last. I have a decent feeling he might be better. I'm trying to scratch the Brad Cox itch, and since Patch Adams left and Admiral Dennis left, I mean, this is probably the worst decision ever, but I think we're going to go with Uncle Jim.
Uncle Jim, yeah, he was third in like a 4-horse field there. He did have a lot of hype, so you kind of just think something happened. He's better than that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be better than Let On. I think he's just like I think he's improving. I think it was a bounce. It was a weird race at Aqueduct. I mean, the jockey went to ride him. I'm hoping that maybe Giroux won't ride him ever again. I'm trying to get the ones that won't go with Giroux. See, that's why I liked Patch Adams. I think Saez would ride that one because he'd ride the speed one and Giroux would go ride Admiral Dennis. I'm trying to stay away from this Giroux guy because he might be the worst jockey on the circuit right now. Like he's like Wesley Hobad. I really think so. And he rode.
Spoken like a true gambler, which you are. So I get it.
He rode Master of Foxhounds for us, and he didn't put him on the lead. And afterwards, Gary's like, "Let me call this guy's agent." And we call the guy's agent and says, "I never want you to ride in my silks again. You're the worst. Your jockey might be the worst jockey ever." So we have a personally bad relationship with. I don't want Cox with Giroux. So please, can I get Luis Saez or Bobby and Pratt or anybody or Manny Franco? Give me Manny Franco and let's win the Derby.
Okay, sounds good. That's a good reason of ever right there. Personal problem with Giroux, like many do. So, okay. All right, Michael, we'll take you out now. So he's going to go with Uncle Jim. All right, it's my favorite team, Vinny and Dennis. They're coming back for the next pick. All right, guys. I don't want any trouble. Okay. So how's it going?
We've been texting on the side.
Uh-oh.
I think we're okay here.
Well, no, we're not okay, but Vinny explained it to me, and we're working through it. Vinny, go ahead. If it don't work, it's on Vinny. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Last year, the Remsen winner did okay for me, so we're gonna go with Poster with our second pick.
I think he makes a ton of sense in this spot. I mean,
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised. A couple horses just went before, like every horse so far that has gone in the second round, I had tabbed for the fourth round or later. So I'm completely happy with that. We had them tabbed for fourth round or later. So
what a teammate this guy is. Jesus Christ, get me off of here.
I tried to trade you, dude.
It's starting to crumble, but we're still in the second round. I think it's okay for now. We'll see you guys in the third round. I'm going to get you out here for Dennis, says something he'll regret for the rest of his life. All right. I swear that is my favorite team. All right. We're to Jared and Kevin next. Are we going to have Jared? We're going to have Jared read this one. He's raising his hand. So Jared will be on next with pick number 18.
I'm here. It's good to be back.
Hey, there he is.
He did good, didn't he?
Oh, I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of him.
It was almost like watching it. I didn't even listen to what he said. It was just like a heartfelt moment for me, really.
It probably was one of my greatest accomplishments in racing. It was
like
to have him on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he finally made it, And,
right. Yeah. In life.
But hey, listen, he was right. Like we didn't really talk about Barnes a lot because I kind of expected him to be gone.
Yeah.
And so when John and them and Ryan took Patch Adams, and then it's like, okay, because that was on our list. I thought more likely Patch Adams would follow us versus Barnes, and so Barnes wasn't even really considered. But whenever he was there, I was like, hey, we got to take Barnes. I mean, he's one of the one of Baffert's top horses at the moment. So
yep.
But again, it's like I told him, it's like he might win the Triple Crown. He also might not run again. So, all right. This horse kept falling to us. I'm very happy about this. We're 2 for 2 on horses here. We're going Disco Time.
I like that.
For Brad Cox, Juddmonte owned. This is a horse that's undefeated. Has looked pretty much dominant in the first 2 starts. Last time out, won on going a mile on the dirt. at Churchill and did it kind of just professionally, really. So again, it's just a horse that's slowly climbing up the ladder, but it's, we weren't able to get the top tier Brad Cox, but this is a horse that I feel like is going to run a stakes race probably next start.
I feel like he might be a Smarty Jones type horse, or Smarty Jones or Lecomte, I bet, for him. What do you think?
What you like about him is, he's a horse that's gone, like I said, he's gone through he won his maiden, he won his allowance, and he's done it all the right way. And so obviously next start will be a stakes. The downfall to that is you don't know. And, if he doesn't run well in that race, then you're kind of screwed. That's kind of where we're at with when you get into the second and third rounds. So I feel like he was the best on the board. And most importantly, two most important. One, it's a male. And two,
right,
my partner agreed on it. So there we go.
Wow. I feel like this has been good therapy for both of you as well. So I'm really happy about what's happened today. It's nice to have Dennis and Vinny. That's a fun little thing. And then with you guys, it's been nice. It's been good.
What I like about him, and anybody that knows me knows this, is like what I like about having a teammate, especially having a teammate like Kevin, is all the good picks I'll take credit for. And anything that goes wrong, I do have a scapegoat. So appreciate that.
True. Well, the good news is he can take disappointment because he's a Giants fan. So that's kind of how that goes. All right. So that's it. That's Kevin and Jared there for the 18th pick. It's been a while since we've seen her. We're going to see Shoddy right up here next with pick 19. All right. It's been a while. Who you got?
Yeah, I gotta say, there's some surprising picks here. Like Vinny mentioned, I was like, I would totally have pegged that horse to be talking about more pegging here, to be like a third or fourth round. So I'm actually kind of surprised that a horse that we had in our top 10 has fallen to us. We're gonna go ahead and take First Resort.
First Resort, winner of the Kentucky Jockey Club, second round. I think him and Poster kind of the same for me. It's like that's a pretty good second round pick. I agree. I'm surprised he hasn't been taken yet. So you got to be happy so far, right?
Yeah, and he was beaten by a horse named Showcase in the Saratoga Special. Now this horse has disappeared from the work tab. I have Showcase on my list for a little bit and really liked him. And if I like him, I'm gonna have to like First Resort, especially since he came out and got some derby points. So
yeah, I have Showcase on my list, but you're right, he's kind of disappeared. Who knows with him? But yeah, I mean, that was a really nice horse. I agree. So I like the logic. All right, so you're gonna go First Resort right there at number 19. Unfortunately, I have to take you out and bring in Magic again. I'm sorry. So we'll see you soon, though.
Yeah, Chef Magic's gonna cook up some good stuff here. All right, let's get back in the kitchen.
All right, who you taking?
Well, let me ask Mike Somich. Mike, who are we? Who do you want to take in here? No, they already drafted him. No, they drafted him too. I know. We really wanted First Resort, but listen, we stole journalism from him, so fair is fair, all that stuff. All right, Mike's long. Listen, we're gonna go with a horse who is second on debut, going 7 furlongs. The Saratoga looked pretty good. He's by Gun Runner. They paid $800,000 for him. He's got a Bernardini mare as well, so it might be a little bit of a reach just because we lost First Resort, but we're gonna go with Guns Loaded for Jose D'Angelo.
Okay, Guns Loaded. Are you gonna have a different costume every time?
Keep watching, baby.
I hope so, because this is good. This is good stuff. It's your last night employed here, so you might as well go out with a bang, right?
Bang, 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 bang.
Guns Loaded. See what I did there? All right. So, all right. Bye, Magic. Okay. So he's going to go Guns Loaded there at number 20.
Can I just add in that?
Sure.
I am forever scarred by seeing what I just saw, but that's it. Okay. Don't you wonder, like Celeste is, I mean, this is happening live at his house right now, and he's got a child. And I mean, just what's happening over there is what I'd like to know. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to step on John Ryan.
Him in the office, locked up. It's Celeste and the child.
Hey, Daddy's he's having alone time right now. Don't worry about why he's naked wearing a chef's outfit. Don't worry about it. Okay. Anyways. Sorry.
Oh God. All right. Well, with that, we'll bring back John and Ryan. We haven't seen them in a while. And it's probably why the show's been downhill ever since. But we'll bring back John and Ryan now. Okay. Hey, guys.
We'll talk about a tough act to follow. Following Magic there. In fact, I have visions in my head of the head of FanDuel getting a secret videotape sent to him, and he pops it in and he goes, "We hired this guy? Really? Wow. Well, how did that happen?" So anyway, sad news today in our sport that we love, Uncle Mo. And I mean, that just really kind of knocked me for a loop today. And we are going to take a son of Uncle Mo. So how's that? We're going to take Aviator guy here who barely lost the Remsen. And, he lost by a whisker to Poster, who's already been taken. So we're going to roll the dice here with Chad Brown and a son of the late, I'm sorry to say, late Uncle Mo. And this is a horse that impressed me, barely losing that Remsen Stakes. So I think at 1 1/8 to run that well, now stretching on out, hopefully on the first Saturday in May to 1 1/4, sort of like a horse by the name of Sierra Leone that barely lost the Remsen last year. So we're going to kind of hope we follow in those horseshoes.
That's a good pick. I like that pick quite a bit. Brian, I want to ask you a little bit about Uncle Mo as well, because we were at that Breeders' Cup that was so special when he was able to win that race at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile the same year Zenyatta lost there at Churchill. What are your kind of thoughts on Uncle Mo as a racehorse?
He's one of my favorites. I actually think he's one of the best horses I've seen in my lifetime. I remember reading an article where, Aaron, before they buy horses at sales, they measure how big their hearts could be. And this article was saying it was the biggest heart they'd ever seen on a racehorse, the people that were measuring it. So it's no surprise he became such a good horse, right? I truly felt he was a horse that could win the Triple Crown. I was new to the game, so I was wrong. I feel like it was such a strange 3-year-old season. He got some sort of illness. Pletcher never could really figure him out. And then it was great to see him go to stud and leave what looks like a lasting legacy. So RIP to one of the greatest sires of our lifetime. And I think one of the horses that was on his way, he had the talent to be one of the best horses and maybe just had a few bumps in the road that kept him from that pantheon of all-time greats. But in my heart forever, man. And I'm going to miss him.
Well, Ryan mentioned an extraordinarily sized heart, and he mentioned Triple Crown Secretariat. That was one of the aspects of Secretariat that they found. He had an extremely large heart, and he could pump that blood, and that was part of how he was such a tremendous machine, as Chick Anderson said in his great call of the Belmont Stakes. You think back to that win by Secretariat, and my dad, because I had predicted that Secretariat would win the Triple Crown in March in my high school paper, my dad was really rooting hard for Secretariat to win the Triple Crown. It had been a 25-year drought, which now you guys can relate to with the 37-year drought for American Pharoah. To go through those droughts, people were saying that it'll never be done. The full crop's too high and everything was Secretariat. And he was by Bold Ruler. No Bold Ruler could win the Derby. But when Secretariat won that race, going into the far turn, when he opened up 2.5 lengths on Sham, my dad said, I was thrilled right there. He thought, wow, he might do it. And it was only a 2.5 length lead. And then it's 10, 20, 31. So, when he talks about a big heart, that certainly also brings back memories of the great Secretariat.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the horse I always think of with the big heart, because you read about that in the lore that is Secretariat. So yeah, again, well said, both you guys, about Uncle Mo. Definitely hit home as one of those horses. Like Ryan and I, for sure, one of the first real big time horses we saw live and in person was Uncle Mo. So it is kind of sad. So all right, guys. Good news. You'll be back very quick. I'm going to take you off now and make 2 more dumb picks, and then you'll be back with a good pick. So, all right. So, I better hit the button here. All right, back to me here. I've had the the privilege of saying how dumb I was for not picking Patch Adams. Everybody had him number 1, but me, it sounds like. So let's see if I can do another dumb one here. I'm actually going to go another Bob Baffert runner, believe it or not. I'm going to go with Madaket Road with the pick here. Madaket Road. I was hearing really good things about this horse and debuted him in a stakes race. So they entered him at Churchill. He was on the also eligible. They had to scratch. He didn't draw into the field. So then they went and they entered him in the Bob Hope for his first ever race. So I thought, I've heard good things, ran in a stakes, got second. I'm going to go Madaket Road here. Not really under the radar because it's a Bob Baffert horse that ran second in a stakes, but Madaket Road to end the second round for me. And then to start the third round, and this is kind of where I've been debating back and forth between a few of them. I'm going to go with the Todd Pletcher trained Tip Top Thomas to start the third round. I really like this horse quite a bit. The problem is, have not seen a workout from him since finishing second in the Champagne. If you remember, he was in a maiden special weight on Travers Day up at Saratoga, and he won. And he beat horses like Sovereignty. He beat Key Waden. He beat Rookie Card, who's come back to win. So he beat some nice ones. He went right from that race to run in the Champagne. Like I said, I haven't seen a work since. He might be one of these horses that are gone missing for a while. I don't know. I like him a lot, though. I think he's got a lot of ability. So Tip Top Thomas for me to start the third round. And as promised, I will now bring in John and Ryan for their third round pick. All right. We've got John and Ryan back. I made two dumb picks. Now it's your guys' turn.
I don't think so, Aaron, because honestly, I think Madaket Road's interesting. He drew the rail in the race opening day at Santa Anita to go against the highly hyped San Saba, but you articulated it well. I mean, listen, he could be very, very interesting going forward based on the fact that he was sent to Churchill first, not Barnes. So just that alone is very, very interesting to me. And I like Tip Top Thomas a lot too. I think that's not a bad pick at all. So don't be too down on yourself at all. Okay. We did take Patch Adams, a son of Into Mischief. We're now going to take a grandson of Into Mischief. Into Mischief is like at 8,000 of these pedigrees of these horses that we have under consideration here. And by the way, it's kind of interesting. Richard Mandela, who trained Into Mischief, once told me, he said, to show you how smart I was telling B. Wayne Hughes, you shouldn't retire this horse. We should continue racing him. And Mandela said, that might be one of the stupidest things I've ever said in my entire life. So that's right from a Hall of Fame trainer there, that because when you look at what Into Mischief has done and keeps doing, I mean, his influence on these horses, when we get done with this, it'll be interesting to see how many of the 55 horses are either by Into Mischief, a son of Into Mischief, or a dam by Into Mischief. So we're going to take Grayscale, who was a very impressive debut winner at Gulfstream Park in November. And I was very impressed with that race. So we will go with Grayscale.
All right. Grayscale looking to jump on the Derby trail after that win. So Grayscale for the John and Ryan team. All right. Unfortunately, you guys have to go. The class is gone and we have Magic next. So we'll see what Magic shows up with next.
Hey, sorry, I heard Jared wanted Daddy Magic, so I'm here, baby.
Okay. All right. So who are you taking with your next pick?
Wait, I have to actually pick a horse. I was just kind of screwing around in here. It's just really going off the rails when I don't have somebody keeping me on task here. All right, so there's been two horses taken from the Remsen Stakes already. I'm going to take another one. Respect the top horses that were taken. But I thought for a horse off of a one-turn race, winning on debut, setting the pace in the Remsen, and not actually falling apart like the big 3 to 5 favorite Key Waden did, for being his second start, first time around 2 turns, I think that Tux has got a lot of room to improve here. And I know Bill Mott's going to run him a lot at Aqueduct. I know we have a rule on the Magic Mike show about not drafting Bill Mott horses anymore, but you know what? Samachain here, Daddy's in charge. We're taking Tux in the third round.
So when you and Samach are together, who's Daddy?
Oh, it's always me.
All right. I'm going to clip that and send that to him right now. All right. Thank you, Magic. Tux goes next for Daddy Magic. All right, let's go on to. Hold on, wait a second. I may have a sound clip. There it is.
Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard?
There you go. I wasn't planning on playing that tonight, but it felt like the right time. All right, let's bring Shoddy back in. I almost made a really inappropriate joke. Let's bring Shoddy back in for the next pick.
I mean, hey, I made that, so perfect timing, right?
Exactly,
This is a horse that Davey unfortunately is not here, and this is a horse that he was really hyped up on. And originally we were going to take this horse second round. However, some of our horses in the top 10 were available, so we took first resort. For a third round pick, we're going to be taking a horse named Tiz-tastic, who is a Asmussen and Windshell combo horse. He's working at Fairgrounds, won the $1 Million Juvenile Mile, Kentucky Downs. Tiz the Law on a Taffet mare, so should get better with age and distance. It's 2-time stakes place on dirt. I like the horses that can get us points even if they don't win. So I think this horse is one of those going forward.
He feels, I mean, not exactly, but he kind of feels like a Red Route 1 type.
Yep, that's exactly what I told.
Yeah, he's just going to run, hit the board. He's going to be very valuable for this league. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, good pick. All right, that's a Shoddy Davey special, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Tiz-tastic. All right, we're going to go now to Jared and Kevin. Raise your guys' hand. Who's going? Who's making this pick? Oh, Jared again. What? Wow, being really mean to Kevin. Uh-oh, could be problems.
He told me I was totally ready for him to be this. I thought we were going to do every other one, but he's like, "You take this one." So we're kind of in the middle grounds here. We're really happy about the first two.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of like, I don't know, like we're not loving much here. So, trying to decide honestly between like a couple that are sitting here left. The one horse that I'm like, hey, I like, or at least I like in this round, he does not like. So this is the first like kind of, you know what I mean? Like I've always just been like, hey, I'll just wing it, right? But I have a teammate now, so I gotta play the nice card here,
right?
I think we might be able to get that horse in the next round. Kevin.
Should we bring him in for a debate?
Yeah, we should. Bring him in. Yeah.
All right.
All right, talk
Kevin.
it through together.
Yeah, talk it through.
So let's do this. This will be fun. I'll tell you who I want to pick here, and he'll tell you who he wants to pick. I want to take Getaway Car here. This is a horse that Bal Baffert finished second in the Futurity last out. Don't love him. Same time, like I told him, it feels a little bit like Imagination, a horse that's just going to pick up some points, kind of runs his race. I don't think he's extra great, but at the same time, it's Bob Baffert. He does not like. Who do you want to pick?
I'm leaning towards a horse like Sandman just because he's pointed to the Southwest. It's outside of Cali. We already have a California horse. We have a Baffert horse. I'm just leaning that way, and I liked his last race. But I don't want the blame when this doesn't go well, inevitably. So I'm leaving it up to Jared. They both are Colts, so we're fine there. I've done my job.
True. That is true. We are on a good. We are like we already. I told him I was like after the first two rounds, like, hey, look at it this way. Last year I finished in the money, and I drafted a filly in the first round, so we're already doing great.
And I think you had like Coach Prime too in one of the
first two rounds were a filly and Coach Prime. So and you guys Coach Prime never ran again,
right?
And so
go ahead, Jared.
Listen,
take your horse.
Okay, let's go Getaway Car.
Okay, Getaway Car. Wow, I see who's wearing the pants in this relationship. Okay, all right. No wonder you guys get along so well. Okay, so Getaway Car. I don't really think you could have went wrong with either one of them. I kind of agree with Kevin that if you've got a Southern California horse, maybe. Sandman's a good option, but listen, Getaway Car, he's pretty solid too. I think you guys were fine either way. So
he to be fair, like Getaway Car was like the hyped up Baffert horse when was that Halterman, like September, right? August, September. That was like the 2-year-old. And then he didn't run great. And then, I thought the Los Alpha Charity, he definitely ran better than his stablemate who was drafted in the first round. Gaming, right?
Yep.
And so he's like, I think he just is that horse that's going to show up in a lot of these. I mean, he's already running in stakes races right now. So to me, he's like going to be running in these races. Is he good enough to win? Like I told you, like he's like imagination. He stole points from me last year because he was running against horses that weren't very good and, went gate to wire. So I could see Getaway Car stealing some points for us.
All right, Getaway Car for you guys. It was civil. You guys did well. Very civil conversation. All right, we'll see if it continues. Still got 2 more picks to go. Speaking of civil, my best team coming up, or my favorite team coming up next, Vinny and Dennis. All right, boys. You promised that we would have some fighting. Do we have fighting here in the 3rd round?
Well, I think that we both agreed that we need to take a Baffert. I don't know. I mean, Vinny, you know who we're taking, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of worked out that way. So
don't tell them that it didn't work out. No. So we're pulling out all of Vinny's greatest hits. Okay. This will be better than hip number 6969.
Okay.
This is a horse that has not ran. This is a horse that I think is owned by Spendthrift and St. Elias for Bob Baffert, Varney out of Vacoma, and I can't remember the backside. Varney. Has been working out really well.
Okay.
Yep. I asked a friend in Kentucky, not saying his name. I said, I'm in this thing. Tell me a horse that no one knows. And he said, that's it. $775,000 purchase.
I can confirm, at least I do not know this horse. So I think he did find one that nobody knows. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I know a couple of other unraced Bafferts that I think might get drafted, but that is one I don't know. So interesting. Okay. Varney.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, if this one goes bad, it's on me. This ain't Vinny's. This is me. So
Shotty, clip that right there. Clip that right there so we can throw that in Dennis's face all year long if this horse doesn't do anything. Well, Vinny's off the hook for this one. Vinny, what do you think about the pick? You were quiet. What do you think?
I mean, the workouts are solid. Last worked on 12-6. He's worked handily from the gate twice. He's been first in each work. The works look good. He's working. His last 2 works are at Santa Anita. So, like, I don't know. I mean, they look good. The pedigree's solid in my opinion. Vacoma out of an include dam.
At least he'll win first time out.
It should, or should. Well, you say that. The horse doesn't win first time out, we're in trouble. But like, I mean, the horse is working like he should win first time out. So we'll see. I don't know. At this point, there were very, very few horses I figured were going to be there, and first time starter, I was like, let's go with it, because sometimes the horses that haven't run yet end up winning the league. So,
well, we knew that Baffert. We needed one of those, and let's be honest, everything outside of Citizen Bull, all the other Bafferts kind of suck so far. So there you go.
All right, guys. Going with Varney. Good luck to you guys. It's been fun so far. So you got 2 more rounds to go. Varney, the first horse I've not heard of. That doesn't mean that's bad, but the first horse I've not heard of get drafted tonight. All right. We'll bring Michael back in next to represent Dan and Michael. All right, Michael, have you heard of Varney?
No, I have not. I have another horse in mind, but that'll be for later. You're the Kentucky Derby guy. I'm a turf racing guy. You're kind of the Derby guru, Aaron. So I'll go and throw this to you. Are you surprised Jonathan's Way is still here?
Shocked, absolutely shocked.
I think that now's the time I get him because he's
have to take him now.
Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna take Jonathan's Way and kind of hope maybe he rebounds a little at Fairgrounds. I don't think he's bad. He might be more of a miler, but it's like get some points. It's the 3rd round. I don't have any other super strong opinion, and he's very talented. I liked his prior races a lot. So, and he didn't run too badly in the juvenile, which kind of was a conveyor belt race where your top pick kind of just took him around and no one did much passing. So the favorite stumbled. So I'll go ahead and see. He hasn't worked since the end of November, so I don't know how that works out. November 2030 worked, I think. So maybe I don't know how that'll work out, but I think he'll.
I think at this spot in the draft, he's more than logical, right? More than
right,
logical.
yeah.
So I'm with you.
That's our pick. I mean, we looked at some other ones that were really good. I mean, John and Ryan keep picking good ones here, but we kind of liked some other ones. We kind of like Tux. I think that might be the best horse that Magic's ever drafted. So that says a lot. But
all right,
I think we got the right one.
Yep, I like it. All right, Jonathan's Way. I think that's a steal in the third round. All right, let's bring back Geist. For a guy that's not here, I think he's quietly having a decent enough draft. His next best available horse is not a bad one. Incentive Pay. Chad Brown trained horse, was third in the Hopeful last time out. Now, we haven't seen him since that Hopeful. I don't really know anything about where he's pointing or how he's doing or anything like that, but he is a horse that's shown talent. So Incentive Pay going to be for Geist here in the third round. Again, a pretty good list he sent, and I think that's a good enough pick there. So, all right, we will bring back, it looks like just Miranda. I don't see Dr. Tang. We'll bring back just Miranda here for the Double D's next pick. All right, Tang left you high and dry, so I hope you're ready.
First off, Louisville just won their semifinal game in volleyball, so that's exciting.
Nice.
They played for the national championship. Sorry, I've been watching that in the corner the whole time. But anyways, we are picking David of Athens.
Oh, good pick. I like that horse.
We like him because he beat Patch Adams, and it was just a great race at Keeneland that day.
Mm-hmm. I thought he might fall in like the fourth or fifth. So that's a good pick. I like that horse as well. Louisville, do you know who they're playing yet for the national title?
Nebraska's getting ready to play Penn State. So whoever wins that game.
Now, Louisville, they're not usually like national title contenders, are they?
The last 4 years they've made it three out of the last four, they made it to the semifinals. So
okay. All right. Well, I always just hear about Nebraska, I feel like. So.
Yeah. They'll probably win it all, but
okay. All right. Well, Louisville. All right. Louisville volleyball. You were a volleyball player, right?
I played in college. I'm not this good, but
right. Yeah. Well,
community college good,
Well, that's not bad. No, don't sell yourself short. All right. So David of Athens for the Double D's. Good pick here. And go Louisville Cardinals in the national championship against Ferguson, Nebraska. So there you have it. All right. Let's get going back now to Evil, Stevel, and Kelby. We'll see what Kelby and Evil's got cooked up here for their third round pick. All right, Evil. Who you got?
All right. This horse was mentioned earlier. We actually kind of like him as well. We're going to go with Sandman.
That's a good pick. Very good pick. Kelby probably was there the day he won at Oaklawn, I would imagine.
Might get to see him down at Oaklawn later. Looks like he's heading towards Southwest, out of Tappet. So should be able to run all day.
Yeah, I really like him. I was going to want to try to get him, but, obviously not even close. Do you still have contact with Kelby? I think that's what everybody wants to know.
We do have contact with Kelby, and we've already got our fourth round pick ready, assuming that Paul doesn't screw us and take it with either of his next two picks.
What a segue. You're a pro. We're going to see if Paul screws you right now. All right, Evil. We'll see you back here in just a second. Let's bring in the ultimate screwer, Paul. How's that for an introduction, Paul?
I couldn't have said it better myself, really. So thank you, Evil, because the horse I was going to pick on the clock right now was Sandman. So, when Jared was on the clock earlier, he mentioned two horses that I would love to pick in this spot, Getaway Car and Sandman. They seem to fit right here. And they're both gone. So thank you, both of you. But with that being said, I'm going to actually go to the horse that lost an exciting maiden race at Gulfstream Park last weekend, Rapture with Brad Cox.
So Rapture. So why are you going with Rapture over the winner of the race, Fasimo?
Well, these horses have to continue to stretch out to make it to the Derby. He looked like he was finishing better. He was bottled up, so he was, Vassimo, it was taking nothing away from him winning that race, but he had it a little easier than Rapture. Rapture had to clear traffic, had to get out, and he was coming at the end. So I think as the distance gets longer, this is the one that you probably want. And it's a little unusual having Brad Cox down at Gulfstream. So I don't think it was by accident that he put some good horses down there. I'm just hoping this is the best one he put down.
All right, Rapture going for you to end the third round. Now, all right, kick us off with the fourth round. Back-to-back picks here. Who you got this one?
This is, I don't pick again until the last pick in the draft. So, if you're going to take some gambles, now is the time to do it. Appreciate, the undrafted horses that have already gone from the Baffert barn. But I think this is the one that might end up being the best one of the undrafted ones from the Baffert barn. Working out well, obviously not running the day after Christmas, but I don't think he's too far away from making his first start. I'm going to take Voldemort.
Voldemort. I don't know this one. He really has a horse named Voldemort. That's cool.
He does. Yep.
Perfect trainer too. Holy cow.
Yeah, he's had 6 works at Los Al, 2 bullets already. He's a good magic, obviously. Looks the part to SF Racing. When they go after horses, they spend a ton of money on them. So this horse is working out. Looks great on the works. That doesn't mean he's going to be worth anything when he gets to the races. We never know. But again, he looks the part. He's a Baffert, and we'll see if he turns out to be anything good. It's a fair gamble here at the beginning of the fourth round.
That's fantastic. Voldemort. All right. Now I got one more question for you because behind the scenes, you were trying to trade for my third round pick, right? You wanted to trade up, correct? It was the
That's
third
correct.
round.
Yep.
Who was that horse you wanted?
So the horse that I wanted in that spot actually went in the first round before I ever had a chance to select him. That was San Saba. I think he was too much of a gamble going in that high in the first round. I would have loved to have had him at the beginning of the third round. I think that probably is where he fits. Now he could be anything. Again, he could be, we could be sitting here next year talking about how they got 1,000 points because that horse won the Triple Crown, or he could be fodder for Magic's next video.
Well, let's hope for one or the other, right? Because Triple Crown would be fine. I'll sacrifice that, but nothing in the middle. Either he's horrible or he wins a Triple Crown. I'm with you.
And for you personally, you hope he's horrible because you have the horse that's going to be probably the second favorite to him running the day after Christmas. So.
Well, yeah, it would be hilarious if Matticat Road was able to win that race. Yeah, so I'm sure he will run 5th, but oh well. What can you do? All right, Rapture and Voldemort. Well, we'll see you back here, and it'll be a nice time when we see you again because it means it's over. So
exactly. Yeah, I can close it out strong. So.
Yes, I love it. All right, Paul. Thank you. All right, we're going to bring back Evil. We'll see if Paul was able to steal Evil's pick, Evil and Kelby's pick, I should say. Let's bring him back now. All right. Did he steal it?
Not. So we actually have like 5 horses that we're kind of playing around, and probably none of the 5 will be around next pick, but we're going to go with Magnitude.
I like that pick.
Racing this weekend. Steve Asmussen out of Not This Time. So, hopefully he can do well down at the fairgrounds, and maybe we'll see him up at Oaklawn later in the spring.
I think he's going to be one of those horses that might bounce around a little bit. I think he's got a pretty decent chance in this race. I know Admiral Dennis is going to be bet hard, but I think Magnitude shows up with a dangerous shot. I like it. I think it's a good pick. Unfortunately, if he does run crappy Saturday or off to a bad start as far as disappointment, but hey, I like it. Good pick. So Magnitude going in the 4th round. All right, let's see. Who am I next? Double D's are back. All right, Double D's and the good doctor, not the bad doctor, Dr. Tane, the good doctor, Dr. Miranda. All right, Doc, you're back.
Oh gosh, I feel like I have so much pressure on me. Built? Is that a horse?
Built is a horse. Yes. Yes. Another horse.
I got sent just a second ago, and I was like, oh my God. That was just it. It was just one word, built. So I'm like, built for speed? Like, what are we building? Okay.
All right, you're going with built.
Yeah.
What do you think? You know a lot about this horse, it sounds.
Yeah, like I said, it sounds like he's built for speed, built to win the Kentucky Derby.
All right, built for speed or built for comfort, one of the two. That's that much we know. So built goes. Let's see, what 36. The 36 pick will be built. All right, we're gonna go to Geist. So Geist for the next pick. Hold on, let me get his list back up here. He's going to go with Render Judgment. Render Judgment will be his next pick. Kenny McPeak horse. And Geist had Mystic Dan last year. So it's kind of cool that he will go with Render Judgment this year. This horse was 5th last time out in the Kentucky Jockey Club. He's been a little bit disappointing in stakes company, but we know how that goes with Kenny McPeak. So Render Judgment will go next to Geist. And now we will bring in Michael.
Out.
Okay, all right, great. Michael, who you got?
Okay, I am surprised that this horse still exists. I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat. There is a $4 million elephant in the room right now that people forgot exists. I think we're going to go back to the Bob Baffert barn and we're going to draft the $4 million Curlin Out of Beholder horse that no one has yet picked.
Okay.
I mean, I actually feel really good for the 4th round. I mean, how can we go? I mean, the horse costs $4 million. So I don't know. I mean, if he wins an allowance, I guess he's worth it.
Right. Right. Is he? Yeah. So he doesn't have a name yet, right?
He is unnamed for Zidane Racing. They haven't yet to assign him a name. I don't know what terrible name they'll give him, but you know what? I think this is actually a perfect horse for Bob to train because I think this horse has a lot of potential and he's really was a looker. I remember seeing him in the ring at Ocala. He was a real physical horse. I think that Bob will do well with him. And I think if he, again, can get him to the track and campaign him aggressively.
Yeah.
The best there he was hip 165 in that Ocala sale.
There you go.
Back as a yearling. So I think we'll go with him. He's pretty solid. And I mean, you've seen worse picks, Aaron.
I have. Hip 406 is one that comes to mind by Vinny one year. I don't know that he ever. I think he did win eventually, but yeah, I would love to say you're making history with a hip number draft, but you're not. That's the second one, so we'll see.
Well, I did Maymoon last year. People forgot, who for a second looked like the greatest 5th round pick ever until he vanished? Question mark.
Yes. Yeah.
He's back. He's back and working. He is alive.
Well, supposedly. We'll see if he actually shows up on the track. So, all right, hip 165 for Michael. We're going to move it along here to Vinny and Dennis. They're coming back for their 4th round pick right now. All right, boys, take it away. 4th round. Who you got?
All right. Well, we are also going to go with a Bob Baffert horse. We're going to go with Romanesque. Who broke his maiden last month at Del Mar at 6.5. I like the pedigree, and I was honestly worried that was the Baffert that Dan and Olsen were going to take. So I'm kind of glad they went with the unnamed Beholder horse, who probably won't do any running.
All right, what do you think about this pick?
Well, I'm actually going to be nice to Team Double D's here. So my friend actually takes care of Built. He's the groom of Built. He's a nice looking horse. I've seen him twice now in the barn. So if I don't win, best of luck to them. I hope they win it because, that's kind of cool.
Okay, well, there you go. Rooting for other teams. I like that. That's good.
Well, hey. Okay, and on the Bob Baffert horse, I know nothing about this horse. He knows nothing about Varney. One of us is going to know something.
Well, that's different. One of you might, but I don't know about both.
Maybe as long as one of them wins, right? If we have 5 points out of the 2 of them, it will be successful.
Yeah,
that's the spirit.
Yep. just going for something.
That's our compromise.
As long as the win's not at like Mountaineer or something.
Yes.
We'll be okay.
See, our compromise is this: you take a Baffert horse I know nothing about, and I'll take a Baffert horse you know nothing about.
Yep.
You know, this has been a beautiful, beautiful marriage.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
You've got the horse named after Dennis. You've got the horse that won the Rimson, which is basically that's Vinny's horse every year. And then you've got the Baffert compromise. So you guys are doing great. I'm gonna bring Jared and Kevin both on, and then we're going to have a debate, maybe after the show or maybe right after they get off the air. Who's the better marriage between you two and them?
God.
So could be interesting,
God.
guys. All right,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. You have a lot to live up to. All right, here we go. So let's do it. Without further ado, let's bring in Kevin and Jared.
I mean, listen, I thought having the first pick in the draft was the best option, but now I'm realizing being sandwiched between Shoddy and Davey and Vinny and Dennis, like every pick we ever want is there because I'm surrounded by idiots. So every time I just get exactly like it's like, I mean every round, right, Kevin? It's like we're like, hey, I don't know, like if this horse is available, it's like, oh, never mind. They're picking some fucking sprinter turf horse or something. We're good.
All right.
Yeah, Aaron, you said which marriage is better. I mean, to be successful in marriage doesn't mean you have to have good horses or anything. But as long as you get the horse you both like, that's success, right?
Right. You're right.
That's true. As long as we agree on it. That's like you can tell they like, you know, listen, I've been in the league long enough. Those two, it's gonna be rough for Vinny and Dennis. You know, it's looming.
What a just a beautiful answer too, right? Just
my wife just got home. I'm hoping she can hear me. You know, I'm hoping we can watch the Devils when I get done with this. But we'll see.
You don't want to turn on the Devils.
I know it's a bad day. I shouldn't have joined this league. The curse is on. I'll never win. The Devils will never win again. The Blues stink too. So it's
yep. The Blues are horrible tonight too. I've been watching both of them in the background. So yeah, it sucks. Anyway, all right. So, who are you guys taking? You haven't even said it yet.
All right, listen. So I'm gonna give him, my Make-A-Wish kid. He's gonna make the final pick of the draft. We have a special prize for everyone, especially him. But for this round, and we agree on this one, we are taking. So listen, we've taken a couple Bafferts, taken a Brad Cox. We're going down to South Florida, and we're going to Todd Pletcher Barn. So we're gonna go with Showcase here for us. Listen, we debated Showcase in the last round. So the fact that he kept falling, hasn't ran or hasn't worked, I should say, in a bit, but did this is a horse people probably forgot about because it is undefeated and did win the Saratoga Special and looked pretty damn good doing it back in August. Again, on the shelf at the moment, but a horse that we were kind of debating. It's like, okay, well, the high upside is there for Showcase. Now, who knows when he comes back or what the issues might be, but a horse that obviously has some talent, already a greatest stakes winner. So the fact that they went from maiden special weight to the Saratoga Special, won the Saratoga Special, if and when the horse does return, likely would be a stakes race.
Are you worried at all though about him kind of disappearing? That's been my worry. I love it, but the disappearing is scary. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like he definitely, like he's certainly concerned, but he feels like a 4th round horse,
I agree. Yep. I agree. All right. Showcase going to Jared and Kevin in the 4th round. All right, boys. We'll see you back here soon. We're going to go to Shoddy next. Shoddy's just been insulted, been lumped in with Dennis and Vinny. A terrible thing to do, but I would never do it, just off the record or on the record. But we'll all right.
Hey, what the heck? I thought we were friends, Jared. So we're kind of getting down to the leftovers, the horses that haven't started yet, horses that haven't stretched out to 2 turns. A horse that I kind of have some interest in going forward has beaten the horse that we drafted first, Sovereignty. So the horse's name is Prater. Praetor.
Praetor. I had that horse to be drafted next, so go ahead, talk about him.
Just as John mentioned before, another into mischief. Wow, imagine that. Out of a Curlin mare. So I mean, distance really shouldn't be a problem. It's a Chad Brown trained horse. He was last seen in September. So it's kind of, he's putting some time between some of his races, which Showcase, which was just drafted before, was a horse that, I mentioned before, really liking, or just some kind of like, hasn't been working. But Praetor, let's see, let me just double check I'm not lying. Is also another horse that's not working. So it's like, they're going to make some gambles here. I don't think I'm quite ready yet to grab a horse that hasn't even started yet, but this horse looks pretty impressive from the Chad Brown barn.
All right, going to go with Praetor. We'll see if he can kind of progress. Nice win last time out, so we'll see if he can keep that going. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to Magic with the next pick.
Hello.
Okay, Magic, who you like in this one?
If I were a rich man with $1 million or $2 million, well, I'd probably pay one of you bitches to give me a better horse here. But instead, we're left with a horse that actually kind of reminds me of your Preakness winner, your Pennsylvania Derby winner. He's the Gray. Who was his trainer? D. Wayne Lukas. What do we know about D. Wayne Lukas? If the horse has got 3.5 legs that are all kind of pointing in the same direction, it's probably going to run, right?
Yeah.
It's not great taking a horse that's a maiden in the fancy draft, unless you do it, in the 4th round. So looking at the draft board, I'm like, Barnes went 5th overall. So way down here, the horse that almost beat Barnes in his debut is still available. And I don't know about Barnes if he's going to die tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday, or we'll never find out. I'm sure Michael Olson's going to tell us 3 weeks after he's dead that he saw him in the barn. But for a fact that Innovator is going to be out there running his ass. Lukas is going to run him 50 billion times. Sure, he's 0 for 6, but he's finished second 4 times. You might as well keep running him in stakes races at this point. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take Innovator.
Okay. All right. All right. Innovator for Dwayne Lukas. I got to ask.
I wanted to get the pick out of the way, get the serious stuff first. There's 2 things that I've noticed, 2 comparisons, or 2 similarities, I should say, between Michael Olson and one of the newest people in here, Dennis. Both of them picking Baffert horses that are probably going to, again, be dead tomorrow or Tuesday, and Olson will tell us in March, hey, yeah, I saw him on the backside. He looks great. He's ready. Bob just says he just needs a couple works. He's ready to go. They also live in mommy's basement. So I'm noticing a little bit of a trend here with these 2 guys. And I'm starting to wonder, does one know something the other doesn't? Or do they just both know jack shit? We're about to find out.
All right. Well, he just left. I did not take him out. All right. So that'll do it for Magic and his pick. And I feel bad because John and Ryan have to come in after this every time. But we're going to bring in John and Ryan now for the next pick. Hey guys.
Well, up to us, and we've been scratching our heads. We're down to the nitty gritty here in the draft, and we're going to take Hot Property, a son of Medaglia d'Oro, who won nicely his career debut at Fairgrounds. So we've got the Cox horse that a lot of people wanted with our 1st round pick, Patch Adams. We'll take another Cox horse here with Hot Property and hope that he's a hot horse.
Yeah, I like that. Hot Property is one I had on the list as well. So pretty good race last time out. Ryan, are you satisfied with this pick? Was there a lot of debate? Did you want somebody else, or were you all on board with this?
We've been debating.
Honestly, yeah. And
we got many candidates on the table here.
Yeah, it's very hard. You get down to this point, and I think, it's very tough because when you get down here, you really have to decide what gamble you want to take. Don't you think, Aaron?
That's
it's
right.
like, this is really where you take the break. And this group is so talented of people that are picking horses that you might think might come down to the 5th round are already gone. So, man, it truly gets really tough. But what is exciting is these are those kind of swings that can pay off like huge if you take the right one here. So it might seem like we're towards the end, but these are actually critical swings you take especially when
agree.
draft costs you 20 points. So it's just, to drop and claim another. So it's huge decisions.
I agree. Well, all right. Like always, you guys have to follow Magic, which is tough, but then you have to follow me, which is easy. So I'll see you back here real soon, guys.
See you soon.
All right. Here we go. I got 2 picks left. Here we go. All right, 2 picks left for me. Gosh, I've got hardly anybody left on this board. I'm going to go with Authentic Gallup in this round to close out the 4th round. Authentic Gallup, this was a maiden special weight winner last time out at Oaklawn Park. Pretty decent maiden special weight field. I don't really know what this horse is going to be. I do know I was impressed that day with Authentic Gallup, so I'm going to go with him. And then to kick off the last round of my last pick, this is a toughie. I wish I had more time. I know Dennis really wants Cole Battle, so it'd be funny if I took him, but I'm not going to do it because I don't think he's very good. I am going to go. Gosh, this is tough. I'm going to go with Kale's Angel as my 5th round pick. Kale's Angel. If you don't know this horse, he actually stomped Innovator last time out when they faced. So Kale's Angel is who I'm going to go with to round out the group here. So, all right, with that being said, let's bring John and Ryan back.
Well, we were really down to the nitty gritty now. I mean, just in the time you took those horses, Aaron, we were sitting here going back and forth on a number of horses here. I mean, and we're going to go ahead and take a shot here. I mean, this is what you do late in the draft. And look, I took a shot on the father. I bet $100 on the father. I got 100-to-1 odds. So I cashed for $10,000 in the Kentucky Derby with this horse. His name's Justify. This horse, I can't help but think that they would try him on the dirt if he's a Justify. Now, it'll probably be like the horse that laid an egg in the Breeders' Cup as a son of Justify that we all liked and broke bad and ran horribly. So we hope for better luck here if they do run him on the dirt. But this is a horse called Deep Manhattan. And he looked really good. You know, Cherie DeVoe has been just red hot. She's built a really powerhouse stable. It would mean so much for her to get on the Triple Crown Trail to me. But yet she's such a sharp trainer. She might say, hey, you know, this is a son of Justify who's such a good turf sire. The Dam was a stakes winner on the turf. The sire of the Dam, Chester House, was out of the great broodmare Tussaud. One of the greatest brood mares of all time. And just a quick story, Tussaud, I was standing at Santa Anita one morning during the Oak Tree meet with Gary Jones. And he was pacing back and forth like expecting father. And I said, what's wrong? What's wrong, Gary? And he says, I've got a Seattle Slew filly out here that's about to work in company with Tussaud. Now, Tussaud was a complete nutcase. She would go on the track and freeze to where they couldn't get her to move. And she was over at the half-mile pole, stopped. And it was like already about 95 degrees that morning. And the Seattle Sioux filly of Gary Jones's was up by the gate. They were going to work out of the gate together as a team. And he says, my filly might melt in this heat by the time they get this Bobby Frankel Tussaud unstuck from the half-mile pole. So they get Tussaud unstuck, take her to the gate. They break from the gate and they go head and head. Now, the Seattle Sioux filly was a 2-year-old filly working with an older mare, but she was a multiple graded stakes winner on the turf. And she would produce turf horses like Chester House. Mm-hmm. The horse that Gary Jones worked was a filly called Lakeway, who ended up being a multiple grade 1 stakes winning in the same crop as many good fillies from that year. So, I mean, that's a long way of saying that, I think that we got to hope that Deep Manhattan will be given a chance on the dirt and will do well on the dirt. And we're taking a deep chance with Deep Manhattan.
Absolutely.
And I was told Randall likes the name.
Which is always a plus when my wife likes a name.
All right, guys.
I found out with some of my draft picks, or claims that she liked the name that didn't pan out. So she's far from flawless.
No one, yeah, for sure. My wife not be, but
she is a tremendous person, but not
Yeah.
perfect in liking these names.
No, absolutely. Look, she picked me as a husband, so she's not
Well,
perfect in everything.
she's 1 for 1 there.
Well, that's debatable.
Well, that's true.
It's kind of like picking the Gomper, kind of a little bit. But she is very beautiful. I will say that. So that's
Thank
good.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We're gonna move on now, and we're gonna get to see Magic here for the final time. Magic coming up here with his last round pick. And he's not here. Magic, are you there?
Ahoy there, sailor! How we doing today?
I don't know. I'm out of
All
words.
aboard! Listen, sometimes you gotta admit when you're not the smartest person in the room, like Aaron right now. So what I do in my other job, the job that actually, gives me benefits and pays me a living wage, I go and ask Caleb Keller, the other half of CK Squared, which you can find Mondays and Tuesdays on FanDuel TV, 11 to 2:30 Pacific time. I asked Caleb, I said, give me a horse that's kind of sitting out there on the outskirts that nobody's really talking. He says, Curtis, I got you one, buddy. Chris Davis. Not a household name necessarily, but he's rising in the ranks, right? He's got this horse who's actually second on debut at Keeneland, 6.5 furlongs, then went to Churchill Downs, won pretty impressively in his second career start. Chris Davis said this was his best 2-year-old going into next year, and he's going to try and get him onto the Kentucky Derby Trail. So, Magic Mike show, we're going to go Mo Quality for Chris Davis, who's targeting the Turfway Park circuit, and we're hoping to find another little synthetic runner that might make its way to the Kentucky Derby and do what Rich Strike did, do what Two Phils did, and really make a dent out there. All aboard!
All right. It's a good time to take him off. All right. So I don't even know. What did he say? Mo Quality or something? Let's see what he does there with that one. The last time he told me a horse that Caleb liked, it was some horse from Asmussen that was supposed to be really good and win the Breeders' Cup this year. And I don't think he won a race. So that could be a horrible pick. We'll see. All right. Shoddy and Davey, they're coming up next with their pick. All right, Shoddy.
All right, so 2 things. 1, if you had Shoddy picking a Japan horse for the fantasy league, you are wrong. Sorry. 2, I just kind of realized we don't have any Bafferts, even though we had a lot of Bafferts on our list. So we're feeling a little left out. I'm going to go with a Baffert that has not started. He's a $1.1 million yearling. And he was working with Citizen Bull a little bit. His name is Cornucopian. He is a Into Mischief out of a Distorted Humor mare.
He closed at, let me see, 75-1 in the Win Future book. Or not closed. I shouldn't say closed. He is currently 75-1. That does not close. So 75-1 at Win right now as an unraced horse. So you've kind of been high on these Baffert unraced horses. Is that kind of the one you wanted, or was one of them taken from you?
So San Saba was one that I was hoping he wouldn't go the first round. I was like, what?
Right.
And then the Beholder Colt was one also I was hoping would make it a little bit farther. There are a couple more. We'll see if someone else decides to pick them up. So
yeah, there's one other one that I'm curious. So we'll see. But there was 2. Now there's 1. I'd heard of Cornucopian, so we'll see what happens. All right, Cornucopian to round you guys out. All right, let's bring back the happy couple, Jared and Kevin.
Whew. Aaron, our number 1 horse on our big board is still on the table. What if I told you there was a horse out there that is 4 for 4, is a 3-time Grade 1 winner, a Breeders' Cup winner, is a Godolphin Cox connection, and maybe the greatest freaking horse on this planet?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We are going to proudly select Immersive with our 5th round pick.
Oh no, you guys did. You did it. now, we know it's a Philly, right? We know this time, right?
Maybe.
Okay. So, do you guys have some inside information? Will she be taking on the boys or?
No, we don't even care.
We have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. We don't actually. I hope she doesn't. I prefer her not to. We just feel really good about this pick because it's going to bring us to the promised land. Don't tell me. Don't ask why. No,
Are you guys worried though? Because Brad Cox has other really good Phillies.
We didn't really think that through.
Okay, sounds good. Great answer. All right, guys. Well, I love the pick. Staying on brand. Jared, do you feel good about that one?
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. We didn't even think about the first 4 rounds, but we said the 5th round we're taking a Philly, and then really that's all we cared about. So we knew that was going into it. You know, we're really shocked that Immersive was on the board still, honestly, because she's such a talent. But you know, when she was there, we had to do it. So listen, she might get us 5 points, and we can use that, and then now a claim would be worth 15. So I guarantee you will still do.
Or you could just draft a male and not spend any. So
yeah, but then we're spending 20 points on the course we claim. See?
Yeah.
See? This is thinking. I'll tell you this. She will probably get more points than half the first round. Okay. Go ahead.
I agree with that.
Hey, I like it. I like it. He's on board with the brand, like you said.
Yeah.
We're sticking with the Philly brand, and we're running with it. So I like it.
All right. I love it, guys. Immersive for you guys. All right. The other happy couple, I just took myself out, not Kevin. The other happy couple coming up next, their last pick, Vinny and Dennis. All right, boys. Here we go. Last pick. Who you got?
Okay, so I asked Vinny about Coal Battle, and he sent me a screenshot of a plane ticket from New York to Kentucky that he was going to punch me in the face. Then I asked him, and this part is shoot. I asked him Romans because there's a Romans horse I love, but he stopped texting me. So Vinny, this is all you, buddy.
Yeah. We're gonna go with the Pletcher horse that beat Paul's 3rd round pick. We're gonna go with Vassimo.
Yeah.
For Todd Pletcher. If he wasn't there, I was gonna let Dennis have his moment there with a Romans horse, but I
can't wait to claim him later on.
Yeah, if we have to claim a Romans horse, we'll claim a Romans horse, and we'll know how our year is going to go. So
I gotta ask Dennis. Coal Battle. I thought for sure you would take him.
Oh, I'm just a fan of the jock. That horse can't run at all.
Okay, all right. I like that. And then you're not willing to give us the Romans horse because you want to keep that a secret. I get that. I'm not going to ask you who that is.
I mean, you can give it to him if you want.
Yeah,
I didn't even write the name down. I know the beginning of the name, but I didn't write the last part down because I'm like.
So the horse's name is Kinetic Control. It's the other All Ball Sable horse on the Derby Trail. I like the fact that even though his numbers didn't improve, town didn't improve, visually, you know, the horse responded what Corey Landry was doing last time out, whereas previous times he hadn't. So, but Vinny's not sold on that. So, and I understand. No, I get it. Yeah. So we're going with Pletcher in the final round, and that's probably better than Del Romans.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you guys taking Vassimo. I think that's a good pick. So you guys have done well. Very good job.
We finally got one good pick, one air approval pick here. That's all I wanted.
I like all of them. That's not
you didn't know
no,
one
you
of
don't.
Them. You didn't know one of them.
Well,
you said who?
A Pafford and not a Romans.
Oh my god!
After what I was hearing from you guys, you were going to take Coal Battle in the first round and take Romans in the second round. So this looks pretty good compared to that. That's
true. That is true.
All right, guys. All right. All right. We'll go down to Michael now for Michael and Dan's last pick. All right, Michael, take it away.
All right. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me in the league again. This is a wonderful league. You guys run a class act league, and it's so much fun. And all the guys in here are such wonderful people. If you ever have the privilege to see them at the track. Oh, sorry. I am closing the pick 4 at Turfway to the 3, the 6, the 9, the 11, and the 13. So I'm trying not to screw this one up. We are kind of at the bottom of the barrel here, and we're stuck between something called like California Burrito and this other horse called Donut God, and it's owned. I'm not going to say the name because I don't like when people put that in horses, but it's owned by the guys who own Dutch Brothers Donut, I think, like the coffee shop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's owned by them, Flying Dutchman Racing. So I don't know. Yeah, he's a horse and he's alive and he's undefeated. So probably not a terrible pick. And, looking at, there's a lot of good ones. All the good ones have been taken. And John and Ryan are like the popular couple. It's like the quarterback and the cheerleader. Those guys, I love it. And the chemistry those two have. And then Magic, I'll have you know, Magic, I live in my own basement. I don't need to live in my mother's basement. I have my own basement. Thank you very much. It seems like he's losing a garment of clothing every round of pick we go down. So I'm glad we're in the last round. I think that's
can't have a 6th round. That's for sure. No, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, definitely no 6th round. So I don't know if you know this horse, Aaron. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't.
Yep, I haven't. I singled him last week. Was it last week at Tampa or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. But yeah. Anyway. Yep. All right. I like it. All right. Let's go now to Geist. All right, Geist going to get another established horse. That's kind of been the way it's gone for him. Next up on his list is Mackenzie Street. Mackenzie Street, trained by Tim Yakteen. This horse was pretty good early, kind of hasn't been as good as of late. Finished 3rd in the Bob Hope last time out. So Mackenzie Street for Geist to round out his picks. And now we will go back to Miranda for Team Double D.
All
right,
right,
Miranda. Finish strong.
Yeah. We are picking Touchy because he's a Wesley Ward horse that ran 2 stakes and won at Keeneland. So that's
all right. I like it. Good pick. Very good pick. Touchy going 3rd to last, 53rd pick for Touchy. How do you feel about your team overall? You like them?
I feel like, I carried this entire team on my back tonight. Freaking like Doc, right. He's like at work or something. I have a child screaming upstairs, but it's fine. I do it all for you guys. I just love the Racing Dudes so much.
We're very appreciative. And I could tell the sarcasm, so I'm going to take you off before you do something else. All right, Miranda's going to go with Touchy. We've got Evil coming up for the 2nd to last pick. All right, Evil, take it away.
All right, we're going to kind of go a little something different here. Vinny and Dennis had 2 of our 3 horses that we liked as far as Vassimo and Kinetic Control, but we're going to step out and go with a New York bred and Sacrosanct with Brad Cox. Could pick up some points running up at Aqueduct, even if he stays in the New York bred, but maybe he'll put him on the Triple Crown trail.
He feels like a Jerome type of horse, those early races. He's going to be tough. Is that kind of how you saw it?
Yeah, just pick up some points early. I mean, he's probably not going to make the Derby or anything like that, but in the fifth round, if you can get some points, we'll take it.
Yep, I like that pick. All right, the Brad boy, how many? We're gonna count at the end of this. I think Brad Cox has like half the field, so we'll see how it goes with that. All right, one last to go. It'll be Paul, Mr. Irrelevant, not Paul, but whoever he picks is Mr. Irrelevant. We'll go for the last pick. All right, Paulie, who you got?
It could be Mr. Irrelevant. The key to that being Mr. Right. So I'm gonna pick a Colt. I'm gonna stay away from the Philly path, and I normally take one unraced horse and see where things go. But we're sitting here at the end of the draft. Donut God, I'll say the name. Donut God is gone. So that one was slipped away from me. I don't know if I was actually going to take that horse or not, but it is a fun name to say. I looked at a horse like Brodeur. Broke his maiden at Oaklawn. I'm not really sure what that horse is going to be, but I'm going to jump back in and take a horse that still has not ran a race yet. And I've got a Baffert, I've got a Cox, but the one thing I am missing is a Pletcher. John, we need more John time and less Magic time. If you could work that out next year, I'd appreciate that, because every time that guy's on screen, we learn something, right? And he talked about In the Mischief and the lineage that horse has produced, and we've seen it all through this draft. I think I texted you a couple days ago, how many horses are going to be drafted by In the Mischief. So I'm going to dip back into that pool one more time, and I'm going to take an In the Mischief horse. I'm also going to take a horse that is the grandson, of one of the greatest race horses we've ever seen, in Rachel Alexandra. So I'm going to take Valentinian with the last pick.
All right, Valentinian. As far as the workouts go, you've been pretty impressed with what you've seen?
I have. The horse, looks like the part. Again, you never know until they run. Rachel Alexander. So this horse is out of the mare Rachel Alexandra, right? Who in herself was she was very good as a 2-year-old, so very precocious. And I did listen to the owner of Eclipse Thoroughbred the other day, and he talked about this horse and in kind of the same vein as journalism. So this horse, approaches what journalism has done already, could be something special. And as Magic started the show off, he talked about, one of the qualifying factors of Monique selecting me, and that was money. So we might as well end with a $1.5 million horse to end this draft.
Way to tie it all together right there. Yeah. Bring it all back. All right. Well, that sounds good. Valentinian going for the last pick of the draft. All right. Well, that'll do it. That's going to end the draft here. The 55 horses have been drafted. I'm going to bring Jared back in here to kind of recap it all. Jared, there you are. Just a quick recap. What do you think? Who's the favorite after tonight? Other than you.
My team absolutely killed the draft. So that's no surprise. Listen, I don't know. I haven't really looked at as far as handicap that aspect, but I'll say this: there's no, John White is in our minds. John White, belongs in the Hall of Fame. Not the one in Washington, but the one in New York, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a legend. It's the only show / broadcast in the history of the world where you can have that guy and 5 seconds later you could have a naked sailor hopping through the screen going woo, woo. It'll never be matched. It's just historic what we do on the show, and I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way, but it is historic.
We spent a lot of time with John over the years, and one time Heather and I and we were kind of in a group. We were with him, and we spent a few days together. And we were going home, and Heather was like, John is such a good guy, this, that, and the other. I said, and none of us, and I mean none of us, can figure out why he's friends with us. Right? You're right, good guy, smart guy, all this stuff, but nobody can figure it out why he's friends with us, but for some reason he is. So
I'm pretty sure no one that he's associated with knows that answer either.
He's got all these distinguished racing people as friends, and then he's got these idiots.
How we all have those friends that we're friends with them, and we just kind of are. You know what I mean? You're not really happy about it or proud about it, but you're just friends. You can't help it. You're friends with them. That's how all of us are to John, he's just I know. I mean,
Most
I feel
of us
bad.
have one friend like that. He's got like 12.
He's got a group text message with him. So
very, very good. Very good. Yeah.
but no, it's happy that we got we're in another year here, and you know, it's always fun when the draft is over, because it means that we are, well, I mean, a couple, a week away, 2 weeks away from really getting this thing going, and like we always say on the show on Blinkers Off, it's like, just enjoy it, because before you know it, it's gonna be April, and all these horses are gonna be. Remember when we drafted that horse in the 4th round or whatever? So, this is, again, a lot of these horses will be off teams here before long, and horses being claimed, but this is the start of it, so it's fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun for sure. I had a great time. As always, I like to tease everybody in here, but it's always fun when we do it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Last year I left this room thinking, boy, I had a great draft, and I had a team that was just absolutely freaking abysmal. And this year I'm exiting going, this draft was awful. I have a collection of shit. So I'll probably be really good this year. That's usually how it goes. So we'll see what happens. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I will say, I do have a final thought.
Yeah.
And I think you screwed up by not taking Patch Adams. And I only say that I did not think Patch, but I'm giving you shit because I did not really go into it thinking Patch Adams was first round or first pick, right? But kind of going through the chat, he was kind of like the horse, right? Because we were going to take him in the first pick. Sounds like Magic Mike was going to take him in the first pick. John Ryan did take him with the first pick. So point is, there's 3 of the first 5 horses or 5 picks that were taking him in that. So I don't know. Like, I think the secret might be out with him. You were in a tough spot. I was telling Kevin, I was like, I'm glad we don't have the first pick, because this is a tough spot. If Gaming would have destroyed last week, you would have felt great. You're like, all right, cool. Like, Gaming's a horse, no problem. But Citizen Bull, you're like, yeah, I mean, I kind of have to take him, but is he Corniche? Like, is he a horse that's just going to, he looks good right now, but there's so many others. So, and Patch Adams, and to your defense, is like, yeah, like, is it too hyped up to take first pick overall? So you were in a tough spot.
I think Patch Adams is going to be really good. I do. But, this time last year, we all thought Nash was going to be this incredible horse, and he wasn't, right? And so I think with the number 1 pick this year, and I've been burned by horses like Nash, like El Capi being one of them, right? So I wanted the establishment this year. And, this will be the year you probably want the up-and-comer, since I got the establishment. But anyway.
Well, we've talked about Barnes on Blinkers Off, where it's like, Barnes is, seems like he is the goods, but taking them first overall, that's dicey, right? So I get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And the other part, you take it for the first pick, you have a horse who already is damn near in the Derby, right? Yeah. Like, as far as points goes. And like, really is going to be kind of like Baffert with him is already looking at the Derby and working backwards. You know what I mean? Because he already knows that's like Derby type horse, because he's got the points. Whereas a lot of the Baffert horses, it's like, okay, I think that's the horse, but we got to get there. And so you have that going for you. Citizen Bull would have to happen to Citizen Bull, in my opinion, for him not to run in the Derby.
Well, and that's the final point I was going to make, is something might happen to all of them. It's so fragile, and so, whatever. Patch Adams may go on a tear, win 3 in a row, and then get hurt. Same with Citizen Bull, may win 2 in a row and get hurt. They may all, that's just the nature of the beast. So, I listen. I said I'm going to go with the established horse at number 1, and that's what I did, and we'll see how it works out. Probably badly, but anyway, yeah. So, all right. I guess that's it. You want me to wrap it up?
Yeah, wrap her up.
All right, we will do it. All right, guys, that'll do it for this year's fantasy draft. Now, remember, the points start January 1st. So they've got horses running here the next couple of weeks. No points yet. So the points will all start January 1st. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We had a great audience pretty much all show long. We held in around the 200, 250 range. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Whew, I can take a breath now. And we'll see you back here next year for this show again, as always. And then we'll also see you, of course, every day at racingdudes.com.
I sat through all of that for that?
28 minutes.
F*** you. whoever booked that, and I think I know who it might have been, a hearty f*** you. What a goddamn f***ing waste of time.